Hello everyone, busygamerdad back again. Going to be doing something of a little bit of a different play for our Ogre Battle playthrough. We have 3 nodes open to us. We have the Kelbi Peninsula, we have the Balmorian Ruins, and we have the Valley of Krotos. Castros, sorry. And the game says for stage 11, then I say the game guide that we're currently using, the Prima game guide, says that we should be going to the peninsula next. Before we get in there, and this is where the deviation is going to come in, I want you guys to see this so you can see what I plan to do and how I plan to do it so you're aware of it. I am going to be removing a lot of our units. I'm going to be removing a lot of our formations, and I'm going to be rebuilding a little bit. The reason why is because a lot of our units are outpaced, are just no good anymore. And that's just unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. I think that we have a lot of good units. I'm not saying that we are in a bad position, but I kind of jokingly said this before that we should do a hero unit, and I kind of want to stand by that statement. I think that it would be really advantageous for us to do that. So in that vein, I'm going to be looking with you guys here. We have basically these 3 units that are our non-hero units that we use. Then we have all the other units apart from our unit 10, which is another princess unit, that is all hero units. All of these are hero units. And while that's really great, I kind of want to see what ends up happening if we take them and we move them into a hero unit and how much that costs. So in that vein, here we go. We're going to be taking apart Lion's unit. Yep, that's fine. Yes. Then we're going to be taking apart Canopus's unit. And then we'll be taking apart Ash's unit. And then we'll take apart Aisha's unit. And then we will take apart Norn's unit. Alright, and then from here we have the ability to make a hero unit. And I'm going to be doing that. Now, choose a leader. I would like our leader to be Ash, if I can find him. Ash or Aisha? Let's do Aisha. Have her be in the backfield center. And then where is Ash? There he is. Ash right there. And then let's see if we can find Gilbert. Not Gilbert, I'm sorry. Lion. And Norn. Is that who else I want in there? Sting, Sergio, Celeste, Buzz. All these are really good. Canopus. Where is Canopus? Canopus. Right down here. Yep, Eagle Man. Thunder or... No, we'll have him be there. That's fine. And... yeah, I mean, we'll have a double priest unit. Why not, right? We'll have Norn. So now, let me just check and see. We have so many... I'm going to clean this up. No, I want to remove... or I'm going to... it sounds so traumatic. Erase. But we're going to get rid of these fighters because we can instantly recruit new ones that are much higher level. Same thing with these Amazons. So this episode here is going to be talking about where I'm taking the game and why I'm taking it that direction. Hopefully you guys can be on board with this because I feel like this is really important for you guys to see this portion of it. Not just to bore you with the details, but to talk about where the game is going because I honestly think we're about halfway through the game. And I think that this game has been... to me, it's taken on a totally different meaning and a totally different story arc than I thought it was even possible. And this is a Super Nintendo game for all intents and purposes, this being a Super Nintendo game, it has so many different endings and so many different things going on and working that I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Why? How? All these things are super cool, and it blows my mind that this is one of those games that I think a lot of people just don't realize exists or don't understand that that it exists in the way that it exists, and it's just freely like out there, like looking at its identity. Like this, to me, this game, because of, so let's talk about the first and foremost the army itself. The army, you have so much control and agency as the player. In a Super Nintendo game, this was unheard of. You can create all manner of different units. All manner of different creatures can go in. As long as you have a leader, you can make a leader unit and just have it be roaming around. You can make units that are all aviation units. You can make units that are all casters. You can do all this. And you have a personality for every single character that you have in this game. You create a certain level of, we'll say, identity for your army. If you start playing the game as call it a bad character, an evil character, you can have an evil army. And if you have an evil army, you get the bad ending. And I say air quotes, like always air quotes with that. Because that to me is like one of those things that's like, do you care? Do you want to play as the bad character? And so that tells you that your alignment is going to be good or bad depending on how you liberate towns. And that leads into the next thing. This game allows you the opportunity to create your army the way you want to play the game. And if you play it as air quotes, bad character with bad alignment, taking over cities, sitting on cities too long, things like that, and causing all manner of discontent within the realm and become, you dispose of the despots, but then you become the despot yourself. Like, what are you really doing? Like, how are you really bettering the world around you? So in that vein, if you have bad armies and you get the bad ending, you got what you wanted. You got the bad ending, and you get to play with more bad characters. Like, there's actually characters out there that are even more evil that you can recruit if you go down the bad path, if you have sufficient bad ending or bad reputation and bad alignment. So it's really cool that you have those two aspects working in tandem to influence how you go about this game and what you do to create the army and the identity for your playthrough. Let's see here. Now, from there, we have our hero unit. Where did we put our hero unit? It's right here. It's number 6. Aisha. It's a low sky unit. So this one flies, they'll move really fast. That's interesting. I did not expect them to be a low sky unit. Okay. All right. Let me change their formation a little bit so that we put that one there, put that one there, there, and there. Yes, I'm sure. There, great, awesome. Now, what do we want to do? So in this, we have way more money than I think we need to do anything with. So in that way, we are starting to buy more curatives and things like that. So that's really cool. That's really fun to do that. One of the things that I want to try and do still is I still want to get our Platinum Dragon. I would still love to get our Platinum Dragon. We have our Snow Dragons right here that are, or I'm sorry, our Silver Dragons right here. We're still going to get we have our Silver Dragons with Domer, and he's bringing them up. So at any given point, we can only have, I think it's like 10 units on the field. So this is our army. This is our standing army right now. I think this is pretty strong. I know we have a lot of depth in our bench to make other units, but we don't need to. We have our hero unit. Let them be the hero unit. Let them do their thing. So let me see here. He's got the demon bracelet. They've got all this other stuff here. So I'm going to peel all this stuff off of them, and then I'll talk about my next little antics right here. Yeah, okay. It looks like... Okay, so we're going to go into the equipment side. So the next thing is it goes back to your choices at the very beginning of the game that allow you to shape your playthrough. If you choose a number of the questions that you get first asked by Warren when you're setting up your character and you choose the air quotes again, evil options or nefarious options or options that are less than benevolent, then you get your hero right out of the gate dispositioned with abilities to be evil, to have the air quotes again, evil characteristics of things. And so is that good? Is that bad? Is that what you're looking for? It dramatically changes your playthrough, how your hero functions and how people see your hero. So if you need a certain playthrough for a certain type of game that you're going for, then understand that you need to answer those questions correctly right out of the gate. If you don't, you're going to not get the ending you want, not be able to have the characters you want, or have the what's the word I'm looking for? Have the units that you want, because other units will not join you if there's a problem with your stats and stuff like that. If your charisma is low, you won't get the, we'll call it the air quotes again, good units or noble units or good affinity units. So keep that in mind. Now, from here, when I'm playing this game through, people have been commenting, you have way more money than I've ever seen anyone have. Why aren't you buying curatives? It's because I'm an idiot and I didn't realize I should be doing that. But also it's because when I was younger, played this game from the disposition of a kid that took too long to beat the levels. And when I took too long to beat the levels, you know what happened? The armies hated me. All the armies turned against me. All the levels turned against me. And it was just one of those things that was like really eye-opening that I struggled with. And I still have that, we'll call it disposition right now, where I'm afraid that I'm going to end up having people, not like me. And that's where I have to, kind of get over it, really. But in that vein and in that understanding, though, I need to also be like, hey, you should be spending all the money. You should be looking around for secrets and trying to figure things out. And so in that way, I should be doing better. I should be doing more. But that's also one of the things that kind of is catching me off guard with this game, because if I were to try a different play style, I am so afraid that I'm going to muck it up that I don't want to sit on a map and gain more money because I don't need it. But I also don't want to sit around and lose money because I'm not getting a return on my investment for my characters. You know what I mean? So my ramblings, where I'm going with them, is it's very important to strike a balance in this game. And as a Super Nintendo game goes, this is actually kind of eye-opening and kind of telling that you should really be able to and paying attention to that abilities that your characters have, the way your units are fighting, and understanding, hey, am I doing the right things? Am I organizing my army the right way? Do I have the correct orders of things? And letting them, we'll say, navigate the field the way they should. Are you using your tank units, your healer units? Are you using your flying units? Are you using your water units and stuff like that? And that's something that this game kind of falls short on in a little bit, that I personally have not seen 100% done well, but it has been implemented. And that's great, because if you remember in stage 9, when we had the mermaid come and sneak around behind our base and try and cap it, and I had to put an army or a unit on my base so that I didn't instantly lose the game, that was wild to me. And again, it just blows my mind that this is a Super Nintendo game that has something like that in their AI. It is ridiculous to me that they were able to put that in the game and to have that happen. Absolutely awesome. Now, from here, she can go back. Oh, she can be a shaman now. Yeah, let's upgrade them to be a shaman. That's awesome. Okay, anyone else? I don't think I had you. They can be a black dragon. I don't want them to be a black dragon, but maybe we should have them be a black dragon? Because we have our... Where did it go? Where's our guy? Right here. So we have our insert from the book right here. And the black dragon, the red dragon and the black dragon look the same apart from color. They are slightly different when they get to their second stage. So the black dragon turns into Tiamat, turns into a zombie dragon with the undead ring. And I feel like that's not something I want the princess to have, because the princess is a very highly charismatic unit, but her alignment is super low. And her luck is super low. So maybe I do turn her into the Dark Princess. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun with it. Let's have some fun with it. Turn into a black dragon. There you go. Yep. Bite and acid. And he'll turn into a red dragon. Hey, one of each. You know what? Sure. Black, red, fine. I'm on board with it. And then we have Dolmer with the 2 silver dragons. That's fine by me. That's awesome. So where I'm going with this, and this will be a little bit of a shorter episode, so please forgive me for just causing this little bit of filler, but I wanted you guys to see this, and I wanted to talk with you about where my headspace is with this game and how my mind is kind of blown with this game. Yes, as the Super Nintendo version of this game is not accessible for a busy gamer, because it forces the player to play the stage all the way through without any stops or interruptions, whereas the PlayStation version of the game, or emulated versions of this game, you can save the game and come back to it at a later date. It's way more accessible, so I encourage you, if you want to play this game, to do it through those means, as opposed to playing it on the Super Nintendo hardware, because it gets really cumbersome to have to do that. You know, sit down and play for an hour and a half to 2 hours to record, but also if you're out there, like, you're not going to have the guide, you're not going to do the things that I'm doing, you're going to want to explore and make your own path in the game, and so you're naturally going to add on a little bit more time as you play, which is what you should do, and I encourage you to do that. But if you do play this game and you do sit down and play it, you have this experience, and that's where I'm like just floored that this game, as a Super Nintendo game, has this level and this much going on under the hood. And it is also, I found out through my own research, that this is like one of entry number 4 or 5 in the Ogre Battle series that came out in the United States. This to me was the first Ogre Battle game that I've ever played. And I know right now in today's release, there is Tactics Ogre, there was Ogre 64, there was Tactics Ogre Reborn, and all that. But the fact that this game, again, was released and has all this going on, and this narrative that is continuing through these turn-based combat games, is a really cool thing. And I'm gushing about that, because it's not lost on me that you're not going to care about a lot of what I'm rambling about. But I want you to take apart one thing from this conversation. And that is, out there, you will have, as a gamer, 1 game, 2 games, a series, whatever, that will always live in your head rent-free. And for me, it is Final Fantasy. It is always going to be Final Fantasy. But it's getting quickly dethroned by this Ogre Battle series that I did not expect to do that, because I'm looking at all these other games and all this other history about Ogre Battle, and while it was purchased by Atlas and all the other companies that worked on it over the years, Atlas is also really famous for the Persona series. It is astounding to me that this IP has been going on for as long as it has. And so, you know, forgive me my ramblings, but I'm really excited to see where this game goes. And I'm really excited to go on this journey with you. And I can't thank everyone enough for all the comments that they've made for the game, encouraging me through, talking about the systems and stuff like that. I did not realize that there was a fan base for this game as a sleeper success as it was. And I really appreciate you taking the time and staying up to date with the series. So I'm going to end it here. 20 minutes of housekeeping and talking about my feelings for the game. I understand it's like, why do I just watch 20 minutes of some dude talking about a game he loves so much? Because I want to tell you that you can love video games. Fall in love with video games just like you fall in love with a good book, just like you fall in love with a partner, just like you fall in love with a sandwich. Love something about a video game and just be proud of it. Be okay with it. You're allowed to play video games. You're allowed to have fun. You're allowed to be a human being. All right. So anyways, Busy Gamer Dad, like, comment, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to stay up to date with the Ogre Battle playthrough and my housekeeping episode and my rantings and things like that. Stage 11, the Peninsula. We're going into it next episode and we'll see what happens there. I might get totally destroyed. I have no idea. It's a snow level, so I'm a little excited to see what happens there. Maybe we have a terrible, terrible time, and I have to remake a unit to handle all the snow environments. I'm excited to find out. We'll catch you later. I'm excited to find out. We'll catch you next episode, and I hope to see you then. Bye.